All right, we're back in regular session. It's 9:23, Friday, February 25th. Other business. Grant, I think you had something you wanted to bring up.
I did. It's always good to deliver good news. We did locate a truck. As you all know, we had a truck that we had to declare as a loss because of engine issues that we worked on for several years, and I don't feel like it's worthy of pouring good money after bad. So we basically decommissioned that unit with the state. Supply chain problems, it's difficult to find something to replace it. Union County a few months ago ordered a brand new truck. We still don't even have a delivery date on the chassis for that build, so we're probably looking at, anywhere, anyone's guess, I guess, 10 to 12 months before we see that vehicle. With other mechanical problems that have happened along the way, which got scary for a few days there, we were lucky enough to lots and lots of phone calls, cooperation with Max and Angie and so on. We have located the truck that's being built down in Arkansas. It's a rebuild. The box is a 2010 box that was built by the same company that we've ordered our new truck from. My anticipation is, by looking at some of the other builds they've done for other agencies, that this will be a very, very nice vehicle. So the cabinet layout will be a little different in the back. That's what you get when you're remounting the truck to a brand new chassis. But this will be a 2022 5.7 gas motor. It's out of paint. It's in the shop right now, having the liquid spring system put under it, just like our 2017 model, just like our new one that you've ordered will have. So it is four-wheel drive. We were very fortunate to have this truck because there is nothing anywhere, literally. I mean, I have called all over the country trying to locate something that we could get our hands on, reasonably, and it just hasn't worked out. I had looked at another truck over in the Ozarks area that Angie and I had talked about. I felt like I was buying someone else's problems. When we get this truck, it'll be a brand new chassis. It'll be a completely rebuilt box, and so I think we won't hardly know it from new. So I'm here basically to give you an update that we think this truck will be available to Union County in about 4 weeks. From here, I can't say that I can hold to that, but that's what they're telling me. When we get it, then we'll start the process with Public Health and the Secretary of State to get it road ready, inspected, ready to go. But the good news is that we've located the truck. We think it'll be here in a reasonable amount of time. And I wanted to thank the board because I know you had to step in at the last minute. This is a large expenditure, but with all the problems we've experienced in the last few months mechanically, I mean, at one point we thought we were going to be down to one truck. Unfortunately, it turned out to be no big deal, and one of them I had towed in the other night. But we were back to two, and this will give us, we have the three that we have in possession are back in running shape as of yesterday afternoon. And so when we get this one, hopefully we'll have the fleet back up in shape and taken care of. But I was here to publicly thank the board and let the public know that what efforts you guys have done to make this happen, because not only are we replacing one, but by the circumstance of how things fell, we're replacing two. But this will help rebuild it. We can keep the public safe. And I just wanted you guys to know that we were very fortunate to find this truck. And I haven't seen it, but I mean, I have seen pictures of the builds they've done for other agencies, and it looks like they do a great job. So I feel like I'm fortunate to get it. So if you have questions, I'd be happy to try and answer.
I don't. Good deal. I'm glad to hear it. I think it's working out good. So hey, we had the extra expense. That's what happens.
Yeah. Well, the truck that we're replacing will be it's 10 years old.
Yeah.
Working on its 11th year, so it's hard to keep pouring money into something. We've already put a motor in it that didn't last 80,000 miles, and you guys are familiar with some of the problems that some of these diesel motors have had in the past. This was one of that year and that type of motor, and I feel like if we do it again, we're just going to face the same problem. So hopefully we'll be in better shape by going this route.
Very good. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything?
Max, I have I don't know, it's really not an issue or anything, it's just more or less a question. In this particular age we're living in right now, I was just wondering what the protocol would be in case all the communications went down in the county or in the country for that matter. I'm assuming we would keep the meeting dates the same, but if there would happen to be like a national emergency and we would have to get together in an emergency situation, I wonder, do you have any ideas how we would communicate with each other?
Not off the top of my head.
I mean, I still have my landline.
Gerald, could I answer a little portion of that for you?
Yeah.
And Lance is aware of this, having been in communications in the sheriff's office. I mean, there's a small contingency plan built in our emergency operations plan with the Emergency Services Agency that Dana Pearson's the head of. I'm involved with Dana on some of the planning and so on. As far as emergency communications inside Union County, several years ago, I was involved with a grant that if you are down on our property, I think you've maybe seen one of the trailers that's backed in down there, has radios in it with the ability to run all that radio equipment with a crank-up antenna from a generator. So as far as dispatching our police and fire and so on, we can, in a reasonable amount of time, have just basic communications backed up where they can communicate with the ambulances and our deputies and hopefully our fire departments and so on and rescue. So we do have that ability in place, and that would, it's kind of an off the grid issue at that point, but we can get it back up and going. And as well as the communications downstairs is all backed up by a generator and so on, so that we can keep communications going. So there have been some efforts made to help the citizens.
I don't know, that's just been concern of mine, being able to communicate on an emergency basis, because who knows what it is.
Well, your large generators that are associated with the courthouse back here, fuel dependent, of course, but can do communications and keep lights on where business as usual hopefully can go on a limited basis.
I hope we all learn something from you, Grant.
Well,
I
I think other people are responsible for that.
I just don't know how to explain it.
So
He did good, didn't he?
the other thing, Daryl, just so you know, a couple years ago, we switched our our Verizon plan, which so anyone who has a county cell phone, because we have all of our deputies on there, we switched to, it's an emergency plan. So in case of a natural disaster or emergency, if communications go down, Verizon will actually switch us to a special line, and our county cell phones will still work.
Okay.
So it's a special line that they only do if you have, I can't remember what it was, a certain percentage of your phones have to be for emergency responders, which they are, and so we qualified. So if that ever happens, we go to a special line and our phones still work.
Good.
So cell phones,
Yeah.
that is.
Just anytime you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's all I had.
All right, anything else, anybody?
I'm going to adjourn.
Second. Commissioner Harville,
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Toller,
Yes.
Commissioner Gould.
Yes.